Welcome to Wine Library TV. I am your host, Gary Vaynerchuk. And this, my friends, this is the Thunder Show, aka the internet's most passionate wine program. And we have a really interesting show today. I want to talk about Australian wines. Big fruit, over the top. I think I diss on them a little bit too much. So I really want to talk about that to begin with. But before I get into anything, huge shout out for the hundreds and hundreds of Vaniacs that came out here. Mott, Denver, Ohio, West Virginia, South Carolina, Florida. It was absurd.
Iowa.
What's that?
Iowa.
Iowa, that's right. I mean, people schlepped big time to come to Wine Library. We had a tasting up here live, which we have on film. We're going to put that up some point in next week or so. The live episode I did with all the Vaniacs in the crowd. Sat on a laid-back Friday couch and took some pictures, Mott. That was a lot of fun. I saw you taking pictures like you were Tom Selleck, 1982. I liked how you took the button down. You were rocking it a little bit on Saturday. All the food downstairs, the tasting, the 82 Cologne Segor 3-liter tasting, really, I think, surprised some people. The afterwards party at Basilico, the late party after that, I think people had a good time. It was a huge experience, and I think I'm going to play against this, meaning I'm going to try to look to make this a quarterly event. And here's how I'm going with this, Mott. You're going to like this. A lot of people that I saw were like, you know, Gary, I don't live that far away, about an hour or so, but won't you open a store by us? That was the big talk. And then I was like, well, why don't you order and have it picked up? And they're like, yeah, da, da, da. So I think we're going to start making like a quarterly pick your crap up Vaniac tasting party. You know what I mean? This way people feel comfortable loading up, and then when they come here, they can just pick it up. Right? And you don't have to, of course, that I could care less, but you know, it's a convenience factor. And so we'll be talking more about doing more Vaniac parties in the future, because Saturday was an obnoxious success. I think our bus might have been a little too big. We had the big commuter bus that was coming. It was ridiculous. But an absolutely sensational day. One that I will never forget, one that my family will never forget. It was crazy humbling to see so many people come out, and so many others emailing that the date didn't work. So I think we're in tune for some bigger events even in the future. Tomorrow is a humongous day, because we'll be tasting the secret packs together. So a lot of you have it already. Hundreds and hundreds, even more than came. Almost 1,000 this time. So there's a lot of people out there with either a 2-pack or a 1-pack or both. We'll be doing these wines on the Thunder Show tomorrow. Super excited about that as well. Tasting along with me, that's always fun. I'm looking forward to that. 4 wines, Australia. In 1998, 99, 2000, 2001, I was addicted to Australian fruit bombs. I grew up in an era where I was used to the more calm, classic style of Cabernet and toned down Cabernet. They've even got more over to the top. And Bordeaux. And all of a sudden, Dan Phillips, this guy who I met, came on the scene. I guess it was year 2000, really, when I started getting to know him, with these monstrous, humongous, explosive, powerful wines, Wild Duck, and all these wild, fun names, Fox Creek, and it was just a lot of energy behind these wines, and I fell in love with these bombs. I bought them heavily for Wine Library, and said to myself, you know, Zacky's and Sherry Lehman's and you know, Applejacks in Chicago, and K&L, and in Colorado, I mean, K&L and Wine Club and Wine Exchange, these guys all built their brands on Bordeaux. I was going to be this new wave kid in 2000 and build my brand of Wine Library on Australian and Spain. You know, these up-and-coming countries at the time. Spain was going through a resurrection for bigger, more explosive wines. Australia, really on the backs of Jorge Ordonez and Dan Phillips. And I met Dan Phillips at a little tasting, invited like 6 or 7 of my friends that were big clients at the time. We taste these wines, and they blew me away. Duck Muck and Wild Creek, and just wild stuff. Veritas, Hainish, and Grant Burge, and these names I'd never heard of, and nobody's ever reviewed, and they blew me away, and they were expensive. They were $30, $40, $50 Shirazes nobody ever heard of at the time, when Penfold's serious wines were like 20 bucks, right? So, except for the Grange, of course. And so I was like hesitant, but knew I was passionate about it, and I was going to make it happen. And that was my plan, and that's what I did. And so what ended up happening was I really focused on these wines, and I got a lot of people onto them, and then 6 months later, Parker reviewed them, and he gave wines 98, 97, 96, unheard of scores. And really, that was the first moment that Wine Library became a brand to the collectors across the country, and definitely in the New York metro area. And it was really like some big recognition, because people were like, wow, this 22-year-old kid put me onto stuff before Parker reviewed it, and he killed it. And that was really a stepping stone, a benchmark, a moment in time when I knew Wine Library was off to the races and going to the next level. So I drank these wines heavily for 3 or 4 years. Not heavily drinking, but tasting a lot of different ones. And I went to Australia and got really into that. And I think somewhere along the line of 2004, 2003, the wine started changing for me. They were definitely extracted and big, but now I felt they were being manipulated. I felt like, not in the vineyards, not from the terroir, but in the chemistry room, people were doing any maneuver they could to extract the fruit, to make them bigger, to make them bolder, to make them more extract, to make it over the top, to Parkerize them, as some people categorized it, because Parker likes these big wines, but I think that's kind of difficult to take a stab at him because that's his personal palate, right? Well, that's the same thing with where I'm going with this. A lot of times you hear me talking about over-the-top fake fruit, and I take a stab at Barossa, and I want to apologize on the record, because that's uncalled for, first of all. Second of all, I'm generalizing, though there's a high percentage, so you never want to generalize. But third of all, people's palates are in different places, right? I almost feel myself coming back. I mentioned about 60 episodes ago, getting back to over-the-top fruit, right? And I'm feeling it more and more, and hence today's show. I'm excited about being a little bit more open-minded, even though I fancy myself in being very open-minded. I feel like I'm prejudiced against myself from the past when I was like really into these wines. And I noticed a lot of people emailing me saying, Gary, you know, I like the Shiraz and over-the-top fruit. I hope to like the vegetal and complex wines that you like in the future. And I said, you know what? Am I really just causing a new phenomenon against something I don't like? And so I really want to make sure that everybody watching this, and hopefully not for the first time, but if you're a first-time watcher, embrace your own palate, try different things, and be in a place where you like everything. No reason not to like everything. And I do like fruit bombs and over-the-top wines. Just, I guess I find the majority of wine drinkers, though steadily changing, I think we're going a little bit throwback now, that are too heavy to the side of over-the-top fruit bombs, and I wanted to really kind of break through and get them to think differently. I guess this time, I really, really, really want to make a major point that everybody should embrace all types of wines, and I'm embracing these over-the-top, on paper, fruit bombs, and I'm excited about it. 91 points, J. Miller. If you don't know who Dr. J. Miller is now, he's doing the Australian reviews and many others for Robert Parker, longtime friend of his, great palate, great guy. 91 points, J. Miller. 92 points, J. Miller. 95 points, J. Miller. 94 to 97 points, J. Miller. These are some serious wines, and I'm excited about doing them, and I think I yapped about that. I think it's time to get into it. Don't you think, Mom? What are we, like this, what are we in, the 5-minute point? I haven't, 7-minute point? I haven't tasted a damn wine. It's a little bit unacceptable. Water Wheel, 2005, Bendigo, Shiraz, 91 points, J. Miller, $14 US. And Peter Cummings brings us wine to us, imported by Southern Stars, good people. Big fan of the Ken Onish and that crew. Let's see what's going on here. 91 points, 14 loans, and let's see what's going on. Do you like that? What happened there? What made the spin? You like the little spin? Really nice color. No cloth today, so tough to... Did you like how everybody asked for where the red wine stain was on the floor? I have a round table, peeps. You know, zoom it out, Mod. Bring it out. Look at this. It's a round table. That's right, round. So just to save the shock of it, when I pour the wine and it looks like I'm pouring it on the carpet, or somebody said, where's the bucket you pour it into? He figured there was a bucket. No, it's just pouring it right on the cloth. That's why we don't have one. They're all at the cleaners now. Sniffy sniff time. Great nose right off the bat. Now again, these wines are very extracted, big. If you like the over-the-top, they're fruitful. They're creamy, they're complex, they're monstrous wines, and a lot of people are seduced by them very early on in their drinking career. Then I think you go towards the terroir, different flavors, just trying to mix it up, because so many people stick to drinking Shiraz and overripe Cabernet, and then I think you can find your way back, and I feel like I'm starting to find my way back a little bit more for some of the fruit wines. I like the cherries and the raspberries that are coming on here. The strawberries are dancing on my palate. Right there, they're dancing on it, and I'm appreciating it, because really it's kind of like, they're dancing in a very good way, kind of like square dancing in 3rd grade. Remember, swing your partner round and round? They're square dancing on my palate, the cherries in this wine, so I'm appreciative of that. Let's give it a whirl. Now, isn't this interesting? This is a wine This is a wine that has great complexity, awesome upfront fruit, great grape ape, grape jelly flavors, good alcohol content on the back end, like solid, like really, like, I want to see what's going on here. And there he goes. Could this be possible? Oh, 15% alcohol. I can feel it, but it's not hot. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like that perfect mixed drink, right? When it finds the balance and it's not like you're a mojito or sex on the beach, or whatever the heck you drink these days, the crazy kids. You know, it's finding balance with the fruit. Great length, still tasting beautiful black pepper flavors on the back end. I get a venison, almost like duck fat component as well. You know, fatty duck, I mean, like, really interesting. But it's got some balance to it. Kind of going in mentally into these wines, I'm looking for the over-the-top, over-extracted, can I embrace in my palate? And the first wine comes with some sort of balance. This is pretty good. Let me give it a little shot one more time. This is a really good start. Really great fruit, very fresh, 14 bones. Destroys so much of the commodity supermarket, Albertsons, Price Club, Costco, Walmart, Whole Foods chain, national players that you walk into and spend $14, $18 for all those California wines. Ugh, kills those wines. This water wheel is bringing some thunder. I'm going to go 90 points, one less than Dr. J, because he's got the, actually dunks from the foul line. But anyway, I'm going to finger roll it. 90 points, 14 bones, an absolute steal. I've been really stuck at that 89 point level mod, if you've noticed, for a while. So finally, a little breakthrough. Definitely worth the price point. A very solid effort. Good start to a show that I was kind of a little chocolate there on the back end. Good start. Boarding pass. One of the most clever packaging products I've seen in a long, long time. 2005 boarding pass. Shiraz, 92 points, J. Miller, 14 bones. If you look, it's a boarding pass. I mean, you know, and on the back, if you notice, it's got like, you know, like, I guess like when you pull out the card of like what to do when you're on the airplane, it's even got like the digital. I mean, this is brilliant. It's open on this end, pointing up. I mean, this is a brilliant marketing package. Brilliant. You know, I'm always going to respect that part of the game. And so, a good start right after that. I'm giving it 3 points just for that. I don't care what you guys say. I'm doing it. Really interesting. Little flap up here for the scanning. I mean, just... It is a luggage. Look, I missed it. That's why why do you think you're here? You don't really do that much, or you're just sitting back there. Great job, Mom. Luggage tag, of course. Boarding pass, 92 points, J. Miller, 14 US dollars. Isn't it weird I'm meaner to you on camera than in real life? Like, I'm painting myself in a bad picture.
No, you're more civil to me on camera.
Get mod, don't even start. 14 bones, 92 points, J. Miller. Let's see what's going on here. Great color. Very nice. Very solid. Sniffy sniff time. A little bit aromatically challenged compared to the water wheel. Not getting much. I'm getting a little plum component. Little hints of raspberries. A little charcoal coming through. So that's kind of the unique little factor that's coming through in this wine. I like the little charcoal on the nose, but kind of stale, kind of dull on the nose, which is unexpected because these fruit bombs tend to get pretty out there. Let's give it a whirl. Not as much into this one as the last one. It is creamy. Its approach to me is a little simplistic. That bothers me a little bit. Uh-oh. It's a little basic. 15.7 alcohol. My gosh, a monster alcohol level. Nice first date wine. You know, but kind of just meh. It's kind of very basic. It reminds me a lot of like Yellowtail Reserve, like, you know, that $10, $11 Australian. You know, I feel like A lot was put into the packaging. Great job. It's got a huge score from J. Miller, so I'm sure they're selling boatloads of this wine across the country. Definitely inferior to the Water Wheel. Not even close. And kind of basic. I'm going to go 84 points on this wine. I think it's okay. You know, it's $14, so it's not 40, because I've tasted a lot of $40 wines that have tasted kind of like this. Shiraz, South Australian, I don't know. Yeah, really no comparison. One more whirl. Some nice dark flavors, but lacking any kind of depth or excitement factor. No wowzers. You know, just like, you know, you could just think of like somebody in your graduating class that you haven't thought about. Think about right now, sit for a second. Think about one person you graduated high school with. Think about English class, sophomore year. Boom, I'm helping you out there. One person, that person is this wine, right? You haven't thought about that person since, you know, since you went, yeah, hey, going to college. I mean, you know, so that's what this is. Completely not memorable. Sorry I'm dissing on some poor kid sitting in English class in sophomore year, but that's what it is. You know, just no memorable factor whatsoever in that wine. Basic, you can find it all day. That's an opportunity where you can go to the grocery store in Middle America or any chain store across the country and buy any wine you want that you know, just doesn't. I don't know, I'm even baffled by it. It's just like so boring. Mitolo 2006 McLaren Val Shiraz, the GAM, $37 US, 95 points J. Miller. Speaking of Middle America, it's time to do a Middle America tour. Don't you think it's time to hit the mid-states? Iowa, little Idaho. We did Idaho, actually. Just feel like traveling to Arkansas a little, you know, what do you think? A little traveling. I need to do that. I've been hitting the coasts too much. 95 points. Love those people. College football towns, you know, like just like solid. Like that's what makes this country insanely awesome. Anyway, 37 bones, 95 points J. Miller. Gorgeous dark color. Let's give this wine a snippy snip. Exploding with some citrus components. Happens on these hedonistic monsters of wines. McLaren Valley, I was just making some great wines. Black cherry soda, like good stuff. Not like the commodity, like store brand 24 pack for $2. No, like the $8 for the nice bottle of black cherry soda. Have you seen those bottles? Like some of those Jones, not even Jones, like way better, like the bottles, like looks more expensive than beer. That quality black cherry soda coming through on the nose. Licorice, black licorice for days, like melted down black, like a big stump of liquor, like big. Like this, like a huge piece of licorice melted down in your microwave. Open it, smell it. That's what this smells like. Maybe pour a little bit of that cherry soda on. Very over the top, explosive fruit flavors coming through. Skittles rainbow on here. Let's give it a whirl. Big boy, big boy. Juicy. I feel like I'm chewing it. Let's see what the alcohol's on this. This is good. 14.5. Balance. Pay attention to the 14.5 balance of it. A little cooler climate maybe than Barossa at times. Just like meaty. I feel like biting it. It's got like a meatball kind of component going on. Like just a meaty kind of thing going on. This is power. This is good. This is good. This is like a classic Margaux. Almost like Chateau Palmer with my energy. Right? So it's like, you know, it's just got a lot going on. It's just inflated. I don't want to use steroids terminology, which I always use. It's like, you know, a fifth grader that wants to be Alex P. Keaton. It's Alex P. Keaton drinking 6 cans of Jolt. Remember Alex P. Keaton, Family Ties? The tie was like the Republican in the family. Awesome job, Michael J. Fox. Imagine that character drinking 6 bottles of Jolt soda. If you don't know what Jolt is, look it up. Google that. Shiz. S-H-I-Z. That's what this is acting like. It seems polished and refined, almost Bordeaux-like, right? It's just having a little bit of an excitement, a little bit of a moment. I like it a lot. This is what an over-the-top monster from Australia should taste like, because it's got some sort of balance. It's like a better version of the water wheel. Really, that's what it is. Do I buy 3 bottles of water wheel for the price of this bottle? I think it's a wash. So I'm really, really excited about this wine. Actually, it's 2.5. Gorgeous red fruit juice, right? Like pomegranate juice mixed with strawberry juice, mixed with a little bit of sour cherry juice. Just beautiful, explosive, rich flavors that bring a complexity level to this wine that I don't expect from a lot of the over-the-top Australian wines. At the end of the day, this wine, to me, is a 93-point wine. I'm very bowdy, in the words of Master P. I'm bowdy and rowdy on this wine. It's something you may want to go out and splurge on. Splurgy splurge, 37 bones, well worth it. Kudos to Mitolo. They killed it. Really good effort. And now we're talking. I mean, this is real, like, I'll be very honest with you. Subconsciously, I've been yapping a lot to you right now because I'm stalling because I'm enjoying this wine that much. Ripping. And finally, I've heard some big things about this wine. Let's give it a little bit. That's a good song. Sorry about that. I know you guys always get mad at me when I rinse too much. What we have here from Ben Glaetzer, who's really one of the great over-the-top Amon Ra killer producers in Barossa, 2006, Anna Peranilla. And this is a 94 to 97 point J. Miller wine. It rolls in at 80% Shiraz, 20% Cabernet, and it is $52 US. Big shout out to Pepper Johnson, a jet and a giant. Not, we can hold hands and love each other on this wine. 94 to 97 points J. Miller. Completely unfiltered Shiraz Cab blend from Ben Glaetzer, Anna Peranilla, and you might have seen the Mitolo, the Amon Ra that's come from this kind of packaging. Let's see what's going on here. A little sniffy sniff. Not as aromatically explosive as I expected. I get a little clove on the nose, which is interesting. Definitely plum. Lots of plums. Real serious plum component. There's a little vegetal action kind of coming on through here, which is really surprising to me. A little greenness, a little like cauliflower meets broccoli, but it's subtle. Little cedar box, little leather, little venison, gets a little interesting there, but kind of tight. Interesting nose. Having a good nose day, so I'm breaking through, but I kind of feel like this is an aromatically challenged wine as well. Let's give it a whirl. Big boy. Real big. Like, big offensive lineman. $14.5 as well. Good balance, good job. Very extract, very rich. Big consistency in your mouth. Milk versus water. Think about that. This is on the milk side. This is almost on the milkshake side. Very heavy, intense, layered fruit. Higher in alcohol than the last one. A little concerned about the fruit handling the alcohol. Little heat. Little minty thing going on in the mid-palate, which I like a lot. Black cherries all day. All day coming through on this as well. Very cherry fruit kind of day. Solid. Really well made. Not killing me, though. Definitely enjoyed the Mitolo better. I'm going to go 91 plus points on this wine. I think it's very good. It's a good over-the-top. It's a little bit on that over-the-top, like, you know, you're riding the My Little Pony over the Skittles rainbow action thing that we've used in the past. Gets a little bit there. Gets a little too hot. It's not containing itself. 3 to 5 years, could chill, could calm down, could relax. You know, they always thought I would. I didn't, so I'm not so sure this will. 91 plus, solid wine, doesn't kill me. Huge shout out to Joe and Angie and Angel Pie. Been meaning to do that for a while. To Joe and Angel Pie, huge shout out. Thank you for watching. Interesting show. I'm pretty happy with the show all in all. You know, I think these wines have showed a lot better. I mean, I came in with a better open mind than I've been in the last couple of months to a year, so that works. The Mitolo ripped it. Ironically, the two wines I liked the best were probably the ones that were the most balanced of the bunch. The Water Wheel is a stinking steal. You need to go find this wine if you can. Very disappointed in the boarding pass. Gotta be honest, pretty disappointed in this as well. The Mitolo is a home run, even if you're an old world fan. You know, once in a while, shake your hips. Go on a dance floor once in a while. You understand? Question of the day. What is your plan for this opening day, and who are you rooting for to win it all this year? It's opening day in America. It's lost a lot of its luster. 50 years ago, I think they shut down the schools, but you know, it's still fun. It's gloomy, though. The gloominess has hurt me a little bit. You, with a little bit of me, we're changing the wine world, whether they like it or not. Leave a comment.